Hello and welcome to another Artful Bodger video. In today's video I'm going to use my Aldi Kamado oven to cook this. Coming up next. So if you haven't already seen it, here's a link to my unboxing of the Aldi Kamado oven. It is a great bit of kit. I've been playing around with it, cooked a few recipes on it, and this is one of mine and my family's favourite. It is salmon cooked on cedar wood. Now what I've got here is some pepper, some garlic granules, some salt, a lemon, most importantly the salmon. I've also got some cedar wood. Now this is actually from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. The first thing you want to do is actually soak this for at least 2 hours. This is a spare bit, but if you'll see here I've got some in the sink. And the next thing to do is to make your brine. Now the brine is what you soak the salmon in before you cook it. It keeps it moist, it seasons it, and it really makes a difference when you cook it in the barbecue. So we start off with some boiling water, 125 millilitres to be precise. And then we pour 50 grams of salt into that mixture and stir it in until it dissolves. Ideally this should be canning salt, although I'm just using table salt, and I have to say I've done that a few times and it's been absolutely fine. And once that's dissolved, you put a tablespoon of pepper in. Now this can be freshly ground, but it doesn't have to be, and I'm just using pre-ground stuff and it seems to work absolutely fine. And then finally, half a tablespoon of garlic granules. There you go, in like that. Stir the mixture up, and then we add some cold water, 600 millilitres. And then finally, to cool the mixture down, we put some ice in, about a cup's worth. Give it another stir. Then we use a Tupperware container, which is big enough for your salmon, and you pour the mixture over the top, seal it, put it in the fridge. Once it's in the fridge, if you can remember, just agitate it every 15 minutes or so, just to make sure that that mixture properly seeps through into the salmon. So after 2 hours, you can now take it out as it's had time to marinate. What I'm going to do now is we're going to just let it dry. I've got an oven grate on top of the bowl here. I'm going to take it out of the fridge, and we're going to just pat them dry with some kitchen roll. You can do this. Okay, and while that's drying, it's now time to light the Kamado. Although we're cooking indirectly, we're actually using the wood itself to be the barrier between the food and the actual heat. So we don't need the ceramic heat barrier that we normally use when cooking indirectly. So we'll put this in, and then we put this on top. Okay, in addition to the Kamado oven itself, another really important bit of kit is this. It's a temperature probe. This probe goes into the meat, and this screen here shows you what the temperature is. And in fact, what you do is you set the temperature that you're aiming for, and this goes off like a timer to tell you when it's done. This was an absolute bargain. I think it was about 15 quid from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. It's wireless, so this bit goes into the meat, the transmitter stays next to the barbecue, and then you can just walk around with this and it goes off when it's ready. So the oven has reached 150 degrees. I've got the vent fully open at the bottom here, and I've got the vent fully open at the top here. I'm now actually going to close it down to what it should be. We're aiming for a temperature of between 150 and 175 degrees. So I'm going to close this first. And we're going to go for something like that. And we're just going to close this very slightly. Okay, so the barbecue is actually slightly over temperature at the moment. I've actually just closed the vents just to bring it back down again. But I'm also aware that once I put this in, it's going to cool the barbecue down anyway, because we're putting in something cold. So I'm going to just press on and get it in there. So let's do it. We're actually going to lose some temperature now, so here we go. Here are the cedar planks. Now I've actually cut one down, as you can see, just so it fits in. Put the fish on. I'm going to put the probe in here. I'm just going to try and pick the middle, and we're going to put some lemons on. Okay, so now that the temperature probe is in, what I need to do is actually make sure that this is set to the right temperature. So I'm going to just switch it to fish, and it automatically sets to 63, which is actually the temperature it needs to be. So I'll select that, and now what will happen is it will slowly cook, and when we get to the right temperature, the alarm will go off, and so that's the same as having an oven timer. Essentially, I know it's cooked at that point. Okay, so it's actually been half an hour and it's actually up to temperature. So let's take a look. Wow. So there you have it, delicious salmon on cedar wood cooked in the Aldi Kamado. Now, I don't claim to be an expert in this, and I suspect there are things I could have done better, so if you're watching this and you've got some suggestions, please do put them in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.